Hi, welcome along to Barbecue Life UK. Just a dad who loves to cook outdoors over flame. Today we're trying something completely new. I've got myself a couple of tuna steaks. We're going to grill them up on the Weber kettle and I'm going to let you know what I think of them, having never ate a tuna steak before. So we've got these two tuna steaks. I've picked these up at Morrison's. So we've got two steaks in the packet for £6, which I didn't think was too bad for fresh fish. So first of all, they look nothing like tuna in a can, and all the research that I've done into this cook is that it's going to taste nothing like tuna from a can, which sounds good to me. So they've got a really nice reddy colour to them. You can see the small pieces of fat in between what are like flakes of the fish. So we're not going to need to be put too much extra fat into these. They're quite a lean cook anyway. So my plan is to just cover these in a bit of oil, a bit of salt, and then I'm going to char off a lemon, and I'm going to keep it really nice and simple because I want to be tasting this fish as it's the first time I've ever cooked it. I don't want to be piling on all the flavours. So as I say, I've got these two steaks, so we're just going to cover them with a small amount of olive oil, and this is just to help it stop sticking to the grill more than anything. And then onto that I'm going to go a small amount of salt just on the one side. I don't need salt all the way around. I just want a small layer on there just to help bring the flavours through. I'm going to put these in the fridge and leave them in the fridge for about half an hour while I light up the Weber kettle. So I've got a chimney going away, and I'm just about ready to hit record and pour them into the Weber kettle, and my chimney fell over. So I've burnt holes all over the shack. So I've taken some freehand footage to show you what happened. So I've got a little portable barbecue that I bought in IKEA a few years ago. It's got 3 legs on it, and I always stand the chimney starter on the top of there, and one of the legs folded in once everything was completely ready and full of burning hot charcoal. One of the legs folded in just as I was about to pick it up. I'm not sure whether I kind of knocked it a bit as I touched it with my hand, but it literally fell over and it went all over the worktop, half into the kettle, but mainly all over the worktop. So you can see from the footage the damage that it's done to the top of the worktop. So I went into panic mode, got a phone out of the way. I've got the plastic chopping board is on fire. Everything's smouldering away. Underneath the barbecue is covered in charcoal as well, so I've just tried to get a spatula and just scoop up as many of the hot coals as I can and just flick them into the Weber out of the way. The missus got me a bucket of water that we could start chucking stuff in where some of the charcoal had got the plastic on it, where that's all burning and bubbling away on the worktop. So not the best start to the cook, but these things happen. So I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty miffed that the worktop is not looking its best, but the battle scars and this is the way we roll. So tidied up all the mess. I haven't got footage of me putting the charcoal into the Weber kettle. So I've evened out my charcoal baskets between the charcoal that was in there. I fished it all out the rest of the kettle and put it in, and chucked another couple of bits on top because it took a good 20-25 minutes just with that barbecue sitting open, roaring away the heat while I'm tidied everything up and made sure that I've got no bits of charcoal left stuck in the floor, burning away in the wooden floor or anything else. And I'm still really worried that I'm going to find another bit later on that's just been smouldering away. So we've got it all levelled out. I've topped it up with a little bit more of fresh charcoal. And to cook this on today, I'm using the Weber sear grate. So I'm just going to get that into place over the top of that coal, shut the lid down, and leave it for 10 minutes. That's going to let that other charcoal start to take, which is going to give me more heat, and it's going to let that Weber sear grate come up to a nice high temperature, which is going to give us, or should give us, some nice sear marks on these tuna steaks. So everything's up to temperature. The kettle's sitting about 230 degrees, and we're going to get these steaks on. So just pick them up with the tongs, pop them into the middle of that sear grate in the hottest part, and we're going to leave that there for 2.5 minutes. So I'm planning on having these tuna steaks rare, like a medium rare through the middle. So I think 2.5 minutes on each side, I think it's going to be about right. The internal temperature that I'm planning on pulling these at is 45 degrees, and again with the research that I looked at, that should give me a medium rare look to the middle. So I've set myself a timer, I've got the lid shut, 2.5 minutes. We open up the lid, we give them a flip. Bit disappointed with the sear marks, was hoping for a bit more of a very darker brown sear mark on that side, but it's not come through, which is disappointing. And again, we're going to set the timer for 2.5 minutes. So lid back down, leave it alone. 2.5 minutes time, I'm going in with my temperature probe. Now my skinnier steak is at 46, so I want to get that off. 45 was my target temperature. A slightly thicker steak is only at 37, so I'm going to leave that lid open just so I can keep going back in with that probe sort of every 15 seconds, just to keep an eye on it to see. I don't want to overcook it. So once that hit the desired temperature, then we've taken that off. I've got it into a chopping board. Now you may have seen that I plonked a lemon on the sear grate next to the fish. Now if you've not charred off a lemon on a barbecue to squeeze over your chicken or fish or whatever it is that you're cooking, then you are missing out. It brings a whole new dynamic to the lemon. So I've seared that off next to it as well, and we're just going to give that a little squeeze on top of this fish while we give it a couple of minutes to rest. So after 5 minutes worth of resting, we're going to slice into it and we're going to see how well we've done. I'll cut straight through the middle on the thicker steak, and it's pretty much cooked all the way through. So I'm a bit disappointed. I now know that I need to be taking it off the grill at a lower temperature. I say lots of conflicting information on the web on cooking tuna. So next time I will cook it to a lesser temperature and see where we are with that. So the thicker one has got a slight piece of almost transparentness through the middle. The thin one is cooked all the way through. As I say, it's a little bit disappointing, but I can't wait to give it a try. Well, what a cook. So let's give this a try. First time I've ever eaten a tuna steak. It's very meaty. If there wasn't a slightly salty and a slight fish undertone, texture wise you would think that's just meat. I quite like that. I'm definitely going to have that again, and I'm going to cook it and I'm going to nail that middle. I'm really surprised that that has cooked all the way through, and I did my research on the temps and I thought that pulling it off at 45 was going to be about right, but it really wasn't. So look out for another video, because I've got other things planned to put on these tuna steaks now that I've tried it plain and simple. We're going to build on putting more into it. So if you like what we're doing at Barbecue Life UK, then please do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching.